New products today from Charlotte Tilbury. Brand new Charlotte Tilbury Love at First Swipe cream blush bronzer eyeshadow palettes. Just basically cream palettes. There are two and I have purchased both and we're going to look at them today with me, Rebecca, on Not Fit for Print Beauty. I'm a fashion and beauty editor. I have done this for about 25 years behind the camera. Well, behind the keyboard really. And that gave me the gumption, the moxie, the audacity to start Not Fit for Print Beauty right here on YouTube, so you can have a sort of digital beauty magazine to look through every day or so. All right, let's get started. We are moving along here in the new set. As you might have seen, I have a new camera on the way. Shh, we don't want to hurt Kevin the camera's feelings. He has been with us for about 5 years, which is kind of aged in terms of camera. So we have a new camera coming, and I had a poll out to name the new camera, and we will reveal the winner of that poll when the new camera gets here in the next few days. So thank you for your service, Kevin. Okay, let's talk all about this. The Sephora sale is going on, and I didn't get these at Sephora. I actually got these at Bloomingdale's. I'll link it below. Everything I talk about will be linked below. And also on screen here in YouTube shopping. And that's something that's actually great. If you haven't used it before, you can click and it keeps the video going. Heaven forfend you don't see me. I'm kidding. But it allows you to kind of peruse and look at products as well. So maybe this will get there in time for the sale, but right now it's on Bloomingdale's. So let's talk about it so you can see if it's something that you want to pick up. It's $80, and there, like I said, are two different colorways. I picked them both up because I am a little bit of a Charlotte Tilbury collector / hoarder. And we're going to look at swatches in the warm California sunshine. I haven't stopped that just because I've switched up my set. I mean, come on. I'm also going to tell you who it's for, who should buy it, and we're going to dedicate each side of the face to each palette. Okay, so what we have in each palette are 6 cream shades, and this one has a big old gouge out of it because I'm a klutz. Okay, so we have the cool kind of pink rosy one that's called Fair Medium, and then we have this more warm kind of rosewood peachy one that is called Tan Deep. I have a neutral medium, light medium complexion, so I figured, well, let's try both of them and play with it, and then we'll see. And I have a little makeup eraser here, so we could even change up the lip products. Okay, with each one, we have 2 eye shades. So this top are the 2 eye shades in both, kind of an eye gloss type look. Then in the middle, we have a highlighter and a bronzer for the face, light or deep. And then on the bottom there is a blush or a lip shade. You can really, for whatever. And you know, there's no such thing as rules. It's just makeup. So for instance, I mean, this might be a little too dark for certain areas for me, but that doesn't mean I couldn't use the bronzer on the eyes and whatnot. They are all cream products. This is the first of its kind for Charlotte. It's not the first time Charlotte has done a cream product. Certainly not. But a cream palette product. It's a little different for Charlotte Tilbury, and I want to talk about why, and I want to look at some swatches. So first, let's go outside into the warm California sunshine. Here they are. Of course, we have that Fair Medium palette on top and the Tan Deep below it. And I really want to show you in the sunshine how they match up. So those are the 2 eye shades on top of the 2 eye shades, the bronzer highlight on top of the bronzer highlight. Actually, highlight bronzer is the way it goes. And then, of course, lip and cheek, which are interchangeable underneath it. That way you can see the 2 palettes and just kind of how they would line up. That's why I did them in that order. Like I said, this is a really unique palette for Charlotte Tilbury. Generally, Charlotte Tilbury is pretty easy, straightforward makeup. This is verging into a little bit more of products that you can layer, that you can mix, more artistry palettes like we've seen Makeup Forever do and a bunch of other, right? So it's a little bit of a departure for Charlotte Tilbury, to be honest with you. She's done mix and match palettes. She has done full face palettes before. And she has stuck with her format of labeling it eye, face. But to be honest with you, these can be used anywhere. I think she labeled it for the Charlotte Tilbury purists. And when I say she, I really don't mean Charlotte. Of course, she sold to Pewee a long time ago, years and years ago, but remains on as creative director. Her team did label these just to keep us all comfortable with eyes, face, and lip and cheek, but I don't really think they had to. And if it were a brand such as Makeup Forever, like I mentioned, they wouldn't label it, but I can see why Charlotte did. All right, so let's play with this a little bit. Let's start with the eyes. We're gonna be real traditional about this, but I do wanna remind you that you can can really do whatever you want. All right, so let's start with our lighter, cool pink rosy family, this fair medium. This is, of course, for fair to light skin tones. And if you have a preference for those bright pops of colors, really springtime looking. Not great if you dislike pink blush, obviously. And it's not gonna be as impactful. Sometimes, okay, so let me just take this, I'm gonna work with a Rephr. This is a Shoto 00 brush. I'm gonna go in here on this side of the face with the eye product first. This is going to be less impactful, and like I said, it stops really being about skin tone. It can be skin tone dependent, obviously, but it becomes less about skin tone and more just about the impact. You're gonna see when we do it. We'll do both eyes. Okay. By the way, I have brought back a certain amount of timestamps. You guys really like the timestamps, and for a while there, I didn't do them. So I'm doing them just more generalized now. So they're there if you need them, okay? And I'm going to take this eye gloss right here in this lighter palette and just kind of put it over and put it into the corner just so you can see. Does this crease, you're going to ask? A little bit if you put it all over the eye and you're doing a lot of blinking. Occasionally when you look in the mirror, you'll want to fix that up a little bit. I am not going to lie, but it's not too bad. Switching to a Rephr number 2 brush, we're going to do the same look with these eye shades on the deeper tan deep palette. I'm going to put this into the crease again. Please keep in mind, I'm going to use it this way. It just makes our video a little easier and more obvious. But please know that you can use these however and wherever you want. Okay, here's that eyeglass shade. Now this will be less likely to move around on you and crease if you don't use it all over the whole eye. Maybe you just use it in the corner here or use it as a highlighter. Either of these shades that I kind of did a highlighty look with on the eye, you could use on the face. I've said that enough. Okay. Now that we have both eyes done, here is our light palette, here is our more tan medium palette, and the impact is quite obvious on my light medium skin. All right, let's move to that kind of face level here, which we do have a bronzer and we have a highlighter, if you choose to use them in that order. So let me saturate. This is a Chanel brush here. Let me saturate that, and on this side of the face, I am going to just warm up the face. That's all. Just warm it up. And then I'm going to take the fingers. Charlotte says you can use, or Charlotte's team. I don't know why I say Charlotte. Charlotte's team. You know what I mean. Says that you can use fingers. You can use a brush. So I'm just going to tap on the highlight with fingers. And this is, now the look is starting to come together if you use it as suggested. And you can see it's not quite as impactful as this side is going to be, okay? So if we switch again, going into the Surratt brush, going into the deeper bronzer, oh, I'm just seeing how it works. Doesn't mean I'd have to bronze with this, you guys. You get all the shades if you purchase this. I'm just being extra careful. I'm being so careful that it's almost not really showing. So let me get a bit more gutsy there. Should be able to tell the difference, except that I used this deeper palette a lot more sparingly. Then going in with my finger to the highlight shade to tap, and you don't have to use fingers. You can also use a sponge if you like a sponge application. When this video started, if you notice, I had some red lip gloss on, and I have taken that off. I edited that part out because it wasn't part of this video. Okay, so there we go. Both are a very simple look so far. This is the fair light palette, and so far this is the tan to deep palette. Applied very sparingly, but you should already be able to see some differences, especially in the eyes. Okay, now let's talk about our cheek shade and our lip shade. That's interchangeable. In this lighter palette, here's the one with the gouge out of it. We are going to do a fresh look. Again, we have a Merit brush. We're going to do a fresh look on the cheeks for a pop of color. And then I'm not pulling on the skin, don't worry. This is where you're going to see the most impact with this particular palette. And this is why I said if you don't like pink cheeks, I don't know if you'll love it. I just did a pink cheek, and then I'm going to take my finger into this rosy shade and just go right on to the lips. Now, I just wanted to show you both shades. You could do both on the lip and cheek. Same lip and cheek to kind of draw it all together. Cover up this side of the face here. But this side of the face is now kind of a whole look with this palette in the way I chose to use it. Let's take off the lip product now so we can switch that up with the next look. Okay. Let's go ahead and use this one here on cheeks. Okay. Again, don't worry, I promise I'm not pulling on my skin, and I promise that the brand does advise that you can use with hands. A lot of you guys don't like that. Okay, much more impactful. Even though that pink packed a punch, you know. And then we're going to go on here. That goes on so easily. On the teeth too, let's see that? And it's so comfy. Much bolder, much bolder, isn't it? So again, this lighter palette is really a bright, youthful palette. If you like that pink pop of color, really springtime and much less impactful, much less of a bigger look. And then this, of course, in this kind of more warmer, orangier, I have the lip on still from it, is going to be slightly obviously deeper skin tones. This is going to be more of a sculpting and dimensional palette for you if you're interested, if you fall somewhere in the middle. And the blush is a little more wearable. This is a bit blush centered, and this one is, I would say, sculpting and contour centered and more wearable as well. Plus, for deeper skin tones and fairer, cool skin tones, but really, it's up to your imagination what you like. You don't have to be held back by skin tone. There are usable shades in both, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of direction with it. For me, because I'm a light medium neutral, I would wear them interchangeably or mix them up, but they are $80 each, so you know, choose carefully, because I like to say if money were no object, but money is always an object, isn't it? All right, let me know your thoughts. You can rush over to Bloomingdale's, where I will have these linked below, or you can wait and they will be out, and I'll link them when they're out in a wider look for you guys to check out. They just kind of haven't come to the rest of us yet. But you know they're on their way. Charlotte Tilbury isn't going to waste a chance to earn money off of all of us, right? All right, so let me know any of your questions down below. And if you need any swatches, particularly from these, or swatched against another Charlotte product or another cream product out there, just let me know. I do that over on Instagram. You can even send me a DM over there if you want something. I will make sure to get that back to you. Sometimes I lag in my swatches, but it's only because I've been moving the studio and I've been a bit behind, but it won't stay that way. Don't you worry, we're getting everything ironed out over here. I'll meet you all in the comments to chat, plus come see me, like I said, over on Instagram and TikTok and Threads, Facebook, and we have a membership right here on YouTube. I hope to become your go-to source for swatches and recommendations for all things high-end and luxury makeup, and I will see all of you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye-bye.